Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I'm Andy Graham alongside Randy Lee. We'll be with you, as always, for the next hour, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Auburn preparing to travel to Starkville on Saturday evening to take on the Bulldogs, who are reeling after two straight SEC losses, only scoring 13 points total in those two games. Their offense looking, well, quite frankly, about as bad or worse as Auburn. So both defenses, however, playing extremely well. So should be a very kind of old-fashioned defensive struggle in the SEC. We'll talk about that game, look at the numbers a little bit as we turn our attention to the Bulldogs for the rest of the week. It is Wednesday. That means we will be looking at some, doing a little segment we like to call Quoting Gus Malzahn. He had his press conference yesterday. As usual, Gus says some things that, are of some interest. So we will look at some of the quotes that he had. We'll break down the things that he said and kind of respond to that. We'd love to hear from you. Love to know what you thought about it, what you think about Auburn right now, 5 games into the season as they travel to their really first true road game of the year in Stark Vegas. Cubs eliminated from the playoffs by the Rockies last night. 13 innings. If the first game of the playoffs is any indication of what this playoff season is going to be like, it's going to be fun.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think they're evenly matched teams. I know most point to Boston to be the best, but I don't know. I've seen enough this year to know that there are a lot of really good teams, and depending on which one's pitching holds up the best as we go on.
You telling me you'd be surprised if the Yankees beat the Red Sox?
No.
Nah.
Not at all. Not the way they swing a bat.
Nah.
And Chris Sale. Who is he? He's reeling going down the stretch.
Yep.
I saw a stat on him. I don't know if I was watching MLB Network, and I don't want to regress here, but this was an interesting stat. He had a start this year where he averaged 97.2 on the gun on his fastball.
Right.
He also had a start in the last 2 months where he averaged 89.5, 89.5 on his fastball. The discrepancy between him when he's throwing 96 to 98 and that guy that's 89 to 91, 92 makes you wonder what's going on with him. And if Sale's not at his best, who's Boston on the mound?
It's a good question.
Because he'll start game 1.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any question. But it's a good point. We'll talk about that a little bit if we have some time. MLB playoffs, as the A's and the Yankees will get together tonight in Yankee Stadium for that one-game AL wild card game. Could be. I'm pulling for the A's. I think that would be great. Kendall Graven, not playing right now. Unfortunately, he's not been able to be a part of this, having Tommy John surgery. But I just think the A's are a fun team this year. Have had an extraordinary second half, really, and I would like to see them move on. I hate the Yankees. Let's just be honest, but I do like the A's. So going back to and starting off the show as we do always, I'll tell you a little bit about Builders First Source. They are looking to provide you the professional grade building materials, all the ones that you need, whether you're starting a home or remodeling. They're located in Auburn, 1865 East Glen Avenue. Give them a call or go by and check them out, 334-502-3991. And Mortgage Pro right here in Alexander City, the Eric McKinley team. Eric McKinley, been in business for over 20 years, knows the mortgage business backwards and forwards. He and his team can help you out with all your needs. Bill Young was here with us a couple of weeks ago talking about the company, talking about mortgage rates right now. So, go and check them out for all your mortgage needs, whether you're buying your first home or looking into a reverse mortgage, any and all points in between. Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro located right here at 2040 Cherokee Road, but they service the entire state of Alabama. 256-269-6008. Quoting Gus Malzahn. Couple of updates. I always like to do that, start off a press conference. Boobie Whitlow, Jack Driscoll, Prince Tega went down with injury Saturday, did not return. I'll know more today. He was talking about this on Tuesday, of course, after practice about their status. I do know all three are going to try their best to play and be a part. But we'll know more about that after practice. With that being said, Bailey Sharp, Calvin Ashley, Austin Troxell will be ready to go at tackle. And all those guys, we have confidence. We have confidence in those guys, Randy. That's what Gus said. We have confidence in those guys. And they've gotten a lot of reps in practice, scrimmages, and everything goes along with that. Confidence in those guys.
My confidence is waning on the offensive front more than any part of the team.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing the towel in completely on Jarrett Stidham, and I don't sense that Auburn fans are putting all the blame on him, but the idea that he hasn't regressed is a humorous idea at that. I do know that he's a little gun shy at this point, and who wouldn't be, getting hit directly in the mouth just about every time that you get back to a 5-step drop. But he is doing some things, and first off, I listened to DJ Shockley. I watched the game on ESPN, and Shockley was talking. He made a couple of good comments that I thought caught my eye.
Okay.
When he gets back to his 5-7-step drop, see how many times he goes backwards when he has pressure in his face or when he has pressure coming from anywhere. And he said it enough that I started watching constantly. And Jarrett Stidham's first instinct is to go backwards. It's to throw off the back foot. And maybe that's because the offensive front play is horrendous. And I wouldn't be without watching a day's worth of film, couldn't give you a direct answer on that. I did notice in the second half, or it may have been after the rain delay that we came back, and he stepped up in the pocket. He made a couple of nice throws, and he looked like the guy that we had gotten used to and accustomed to seeing last year. Do you sense that? Do you see it? Do you as Auburn fans out there watch and see that there are things that not only is the offensive front to be to blame, but is Jarrett Stidham regressing and worrying the Auburn faithful as much as he may be me?
I think so. I mean, I keep harping on it, and it's easy for me to say sitting in the stands. I get that, but that's kind of what we do. Every time the pocket even begins to shrink, not even, I mean, there was several times that I watched on Saturday that he had time. I mean, he had plenty of time. There was no rush. Now, we ended up holding on the play, but still. He had plenty of time, and he still continued to, his instinct was to get out and run, and he always seems to run to the left. He never seems to run to the right, which would make it easier for a right-handed quarterback to throw. He runs to his left, which makes it that much more difficult, and it, of course, shrinks the field. You eliminate half the field by doing that, by going once to your right or to your left, either way. But and whenever he does do that, whenever that pocket starts to shrink at all, his head goes down, and that's the first, and he loses sight of the field, and then he has to come back and he's disoriented, he's moving one way and the other, and we got no shot after that. So that was why I was so happy to see him stand in the pocket, step up in the pocket, take a hit, and throw that touchdown pass to Seth Williams. I think that's the only way Auburn's got a chance, is for him to stand in the pocket and take some hits, because he's going to take some hits, because we don't block anybody. But I think he's gotten a little gun shy at that, sure, and I definitely think he's regressed. But I don't think we're helping him. I don't think Chip is helping him how about taking some quick, 2-step, 3-step drops and firing quick slants and anything else that we can do. I know we try to do these quick screens, but people have kind of figured that out at this point.
I have these memories that pop up during certain moments of the game, and they roll back to 2013 and 14, and these are wonderful, by the way. I might get a little emotional talking about it, but these are wonderful memories offensively of back when Auburn had an offense. Yeah. And I'm saying in my mind, go, go, go. Did we not have fun in 13 and 14 and back to Cam Newton days and going go, go, go? And we were up-tempo and we were fast, and that was who Gus Malzahn said in his opening press conference at Auburn University, that all I can tell you is we're going to play fast. We're the Meerkat offense if there is one in the country at this point. Whose decision was that? Maybe Gus's, because we don't have a quarterback that keeps you multidimensional to even scare you that he's going to run the football. I like Jarrett Stidham, but who are we? Who is our identity as Auburn on offense? And I'm becoming numb to it. I'm really having to joke to actually get any emotion whatsoever in this, because I'm so numb with what I watch on each Saturday that I'm getting used to it. And I've grown accustomed to thinking that we are who we are. We're probably an 8-4 team. We may luck into what we did last year from time to time if all the stars align and you get Georgia and Alabama at home and Jalen Hurts is their quarterback for the next century. Everything kind of works out perfectly. But other than that, we are kind of who we are. It's not terrible. It's not a bad brand. We're a wonderful defensive unit that we're going to waste this year. It's not a bad brand of football. It's not.
No.
We are just not really good. We're pretty mediocre. If I had to say us against Kentucky at a neutral site field right now, I'd pick Kentucky. Let that sink in.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. We're up against our first break here, but don't go anywhere. More of the Auburn Blitz is on the way. The theme of the press conference, play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. Does Auburn have strengths? What are they? We'll be back to talk about that right after this. Play to your strengths.
What are their strengths offensively?
I was going to ask you because I don't know. I mean, Jarrett Stidham's arm is a strength.
Yeah, downfield arm. I'm not calling his intermediary passes a strength anymore.
No, well,
I think he's lost it. We can't, because his deep balls are a strength. The athleticism on the edge is a strength for Auburn. Got to figure out a way to use it, but
I think it's a combo of physicality, experience, communication, QB, decision-making, and play calls a little.
So just all of the above?
So everything's bad. That's
all of the above leads to a dynamic 24-point outburst against Southern Miss?
Yeah. One of the problems with our passing game is being behind the chains because of our inability to run. Third down and medium, long routes take longer to develop. I think we need to do more quick passing on early downs instead of trying to establish the run at this point.
I said it Saturday. I don't
argue. Where
did Ryan Davis go?
2 catches.
Just not using him enough. That's not taking advantage of a guy.
No.
We're not calling plays. This is the thing that has to just frustrate. It's very easy to blame a kid that wants to transfer like Jalen Harris. How in the world did that guy come up with enough self-fortitude to stick around as long as he did?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Really, it's simple to throw a kid under the bus and not call him a team player, and patience is a virtue, and all of those things you want to say. But, and we will make you scratch your hair off of your head and gray quicker than I am right now watching us play offense.
Yes, you will. Well, I mean, Nate Craig Myers. I mean, it's a question that can never be answered. It's the same for the quarterbacks. But, continually we ask this question as Auburn fans. What if Jeremy Johnson had went somewhere else? What if Kyle Frazier had gone somewhere else? What if name the guy. What if Nate Craig Myers had gone somewhere else? Would they be successful Power 5 conference players?
Can I give you an example of? Can I give you your answer?
Please.
Did we not used to say that about linebackers at Auburn? Just exactly what you just said. Did we not used to say it about linebackers?
Yes.
Do you say it about linebackers anymore?
No.
How good are we at linebacker right now?
So I think it's the best part of the team.
I do too.
I think it's better in defensive line.
I do too, because I think that from just an all-around playmaking ability, defensive line's got their strengths, but they've got their deficiencies also, and putting a pass rush on seems to be somewhat of a deficiency we're going to have to fight through. Linebacking core, though, with Travis Williams, buddy, We are as good as we've been since Dansby.
Yeah, I can't remember a guy. I can't remember the last time we had a guy that was so good at being in the right place at the right time, getting into the backfield, fighting off blocks, making tackles, a sure tackler than Deshaun Davis. I can't remember a guy that has been that good since the Tuberville days.
How good's Atkinson?
Williams is. I mean, they're all good.
They're very good. And it just drives me crazy. So the answer that I have for you is it's coaching, buddy.
Yeah.
And we are just not getting it on the offensive side.
Papo's the one that I say, kid, you made the right choice. Some of the other ones, I don't know. Jake or Fromm, whatever. Okay. We'd love to have you, but welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for about 45 more minutes in today's show. This segment brought to you by Cheeseburger in downtown Auburn. Great place to have lunch. They have weekly specials. Today's Wednesday. That means it's kids' night. 10 and under eat free. Limit 2 per adult. Don't bring the whole neighborhood, Randy. Just 2 per adult. But kids, 10 and under eat free. How can you beat that?
You can't.
It's a free meal.
Cheeseburger.
I mean, and
success story for a long time in downtown Auburn.
It's great food, too.
It is.
I can personally attest to it.
Good atmosphere, and I think the atmosphere, if anything, has gone up.
I think you're exactly right.
So
it's a nice place, so go check them out. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 is happy hour. $1 off all beer and $1 fries and onion rings with your purchase. We are quoting Gus Malzahn on this Wednesday. If Whitlow is out, will you limit the carries with Cam Martin? Is he your guy? No. We will go into it with all the available guys in mind. Cam Martin will be the first guy out there because we have a lot of confidence in him. You saw him last week. He ran with a passion and with a will, especially when the game was on the line. He protected the football, and we were very impressed with his performance last week. No mention of your boy, Malik Miller, who came in, caught a pass, looked great. Got picked up a blitz. That guy can actually block. Will we see him Saturday?
I thought that we would see him a lot all year, but I think that Whitlow kind of took him out, and then when Whitlow had some success early on, then there was never really a hint that you were going to see Malik Miller as long as he was in there, because I guess they're the imps of one another, somewhat. I like Malik Miller.
Yeah. You've been on him the whole year.
Malik Miller looks like someone that could become a Peyton Barber to me. I think he's 220 pounds. I think he's good between the tackles. I think he catches the ball well out of the backfield. I think he deserves an opportunity. A lot of Auburn fans do not like Malik Miller. I'm way down the list of there's a lot more out you. I'm in the minority. A lot more of the majority that thinks that he's mediocre at best. So I'm going to stick with that, though. And I think Shivers was one 2 weeks ago that you go, what did he do wrong? Did he get in trouble this week? How many times as an Auburn offensive fan over the years do you go, did he do something at practice that I'm missing out on? Did he get in trouble? Did he not show up to a weight workout?
Well,
was he late to a scheduled meeting?
It's the El Toro Freeman syndrome, isn't it?
Well, Teddy Roof was that guy.
I mean, El Toro come in, had 12 tackles. Next week you wouldn't see him. It's we were in nickel. It's caused the way they were playing. If a guy's good enough to play, put him on the field. I mean, if he's one of your best, and look, Scott says Malik Miller being able to pass block is the only reason he played last week. They do not trust Cam Martin at all.
Did you see Cam Martin get blown up by a linebacker?
Yes, I saw everybody. I saw the entire offensive line get blown up. I saw everybody trying to block on their back at least some point in time Saturday. Southern Miss. That's who we were playing, by the way, if you forgot. But anyway, here's a good question, gutsy question for Gus yesterday. When you are going through an offensive lull, is it tough not to get too involved with Chip Lindsey and the game plan? Gus said no. We are a work in progress, and we know that. More than anything, it's about identifying your strengths and weaknesses. You want to play to your strengths and stay away from your weaknesses. There have been a few lineup changes up front, which can slow down the process. But as I've said, we are going to be a good offense. We just have to play well on Saturday. If we hope it, Randy, if we just hope that we're going to play well Saturday, it'll be okay.
I'm sensing so much frustration in your voice, Andy. And you're somewhat numb to it, too, because you're not mad.
No, I'm not.
You're actually –
You have to laugh about it.
You're
at this
laughing
point.
through it. I don't know what our identity is. I don't know that we know anymore.
What are our strengths?
I thought
That's what we tried to talk about during the break.
Our strengths were when Gus Malzahn was hired. I want to repeat these. Was a versatile quarterback that could throw the football down the field. We run an up-tempo brand of offense that we want to run at least 80 plays per game, and we want to hustle to the line of scrimmage. We don't want to give the opposing defense an opportunity to substitute in and out, and we are going to run the football down your throat with an understanding that with that up-tempo, we're going to play that brand of football. We are not that. I don't know what we are, and I don't know where we got away from that, but you can't be a mixture of everything. I don't know that you can be highly successful in college football right now without knowing what that identity is. Year in and year out, it feels like that we're grasping for straws halfway through the season to figure out who we are. A couple of years ago, the only thing that we have is Cam Petway comes out of nowhere and starts running for 200 yards per game. Last year, we flat ran Kerryon Johnson dead into the ground. And he's proven now on Sundays that he should have – I mean, he was special. And so he kept us versatile enough. I don't know if quarterback plays regressed, but Jarrett Stidham's not ideal in my mind of what I see an Auburn quarterback with a great offense being. Nick Marshall's not playing.
Bo Nix, is he?
No.
That's the future, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know what the future is for Auburn because I think we're going to be – no, I'm numb. I think we're going to be having this conversation every year.
Let me go back to what are Auburn's strengths? I'd like to know from you out there, what are Auburn's strengths? Well, I said Jarrett Stidham's arm strength. That's a strength. The defense, that's a strength. Aaron Sippos, that's a strength. Punt coverage right now, punt return is a strength. Offensively, I don't know. I mean, I think we have talented receivers that can go up and get the ball that are clearly fast. How do we get the ball to them? That's the biggest question. But so how do we take those strengths and win a football game?
I think that you ought to be disallowed to call offensive football at Auburn if Ryan Davis does not touch the football 10 times a game. Okay? Just stop calling, you get fired. If he doesn't touch it 10 times a game, you're automatically fired.
Yeah.
After Seth Williams, I think's special.
Yeah.
I think we need to find a way. I'm not the rest of them, nothing special about any of it. Yeah. Running back position, I'm sorry.
Now we're going to break. We'll continue this on through the in the break into the next segment. More to come on the Auburn Blitz right after this.
I don't think Schwartz is special.
Just a FYI, I can't hear anything out of the speaker in here, Ryan, so I don't know if that's – I'm supposed to be hearing it or not.
I don't think Schwartz is special. I think that he's a special speed guy. I just don't – I mean, no, I don't. It could change.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to line up 2 times a game and outrun the defense unless they're just completely – he's not just going to run by corners because he's just that much faster than everybody. When does that happen, by the way? Sometimes. Deshaun Jackson, I think, from time to time, look like he's a lot faster than everybody else on the field. Anybody else? You know what's special is Ryan Davis stopping on a dime.
Yeah.
Peter Warrick. I don't see that with Schwartz just yet. Seth Williams.
No, the quickness, he doesn't seem to have the quickness, but pure speed can be a –
Okay.
I mean, I'd give him –
I like him as a player. I'm not – Seth Williams looks like Sammy Coates, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't he to you?
Who?
Seth Williams.
Yeah. I think
maybe
he
better.
catches the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a
Slayton is
question.
good.
Here's a question for Gus. When we obviously cannot run the ball like we want to, why do we, as an offense, only try to either throw quick bubble screens or try to throw deep on developing passes when we know the offensive line can't block well enough to give Stidham time? Why not throw a slant or two and get 6 or 8 yards a pop to change it up some?
Oh, man, I'm numb. I ain't got any answers. Darius Slayton, is he ever involved right now in
He's our leading pass catcher.
Darius Slayton?
He's got more catches than anybody. Well, besides Ryan Davis. I think Ryan Davis has got the most overall, but Slayton's got 188 yards receiving on 13 catches. That's second to Davis, but Davis only got 161 yards. It's because, I mean, we're throwing Ryan Davis these quick screens, and nobody's blocking, and he's losing half the time. He'll get one for 6 yards, and then the next one will be for -1. And so, I mean, he's averaging 7.7 yards a catch.
We are 95th in the country in total offense, and we got Alabama State in the mix there.
That is correct.
How many yards we have against Alabama State? 700?
I don't know if we had that many.
Close.
We had 400 yards rushing, I know. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you on this Wednesday. About 30 more minutes left in the show. Keep the comments coming. We appreciate all the feedback that you give us. Just dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That's Sports with a Z, and comment away. This segment brought to you by Hamilton's in Auburn. Exquisite Dining is what we have labeled Hamilton's. There in Auburn on Magnolia. It is Wednesday, half off house wine. Half off house wine. They have daily lunch specials as well. If you're looking for a tremendous place to have lunch, Hamilton's is the place for you in Auburn on Magnolia. Are you reevaluating punting rather than kicking 50-yard field goals? Great question. I don't know that Anders Carlson is struggling. I know that we're asking him to kick a lot of 50-plus yard field goals. I know if you're a young guy, obviously you have a few more shorter ones. Then when those long ones come around every now and then, it's not as big a deal. But we have been asking a lot of him. I think he's an excellent kicker. I think you'll see that the rest of the year. The season, him being consistent, we just have to put him in positions to be a little bit more successful. Oddly, imagine that. Put him in a position to be successful. How about try that with the rest of the team, maybe? The thing we're learning about Sippos is he's a weapon. Down the ball, inside the 10. So strategically, yeah, you could see a little bit of a change. I think more than anything, after 5 games, you know what your strengths are. Play to your strengths. Stay away from your weaknesses.
Well, defense is a strength.
Yeah.
I'm looking down at these stats, and I'm blown away by the flip that we've seen over the last 4 years with Auburn. What was it that you said this 4 years ago? If we can just have a top 50
I
defense,
said top 40.
You said top 40.
40.
A top 40 defense nationally, there's no telling what this Auburn program can do under Gus Malzahn.
Those words came out of my mouth.
16th nationally, 4th in the SEC.
Having played Washington, a top 10 team, LSU, Arkansas.
8th against the rush, 2nd in the SEC. Under 100 yards a game.
Number 3 in the country in points given up.
If I would have taken a snapshot of these defensive stats and sent to you 4 years ago when you looked a lot younger, by the way, what would your thoughts be around this Auburn program?
I would have said, how many SEC titles have we won in a row?
After the 2014 season, that's what you would have said.
Sure. I mean, we were averaging about 520 yards a game. We were averaging rushing about 270, 260. I mean, everything just looked, the pattern was there. Just find people to plug into this role, and how could we go wrong?
It's amazing that it has, and I don't know if the answer is the Jeremy Johnson thing just took such a crazy turn that Malzahn's having a hard time coming back from an identity standpoint.
Yeah. Well, the whole, I used to scoff at and brush back at the whole Gus Malzahn has to have a running quarterback for his offense to be successful.
You're not on that anymore?
Oh, I used to scoff at that. I used to brush back at that. Now I say, yeah, he might have something there. Because I've seen Nick Marshall run this offense. I've seen Cam Newton run this offense. And I've seen Jeremy Johnson, Sean White, Jarrett Stidham, and a cast of others.
Barrett Trotter,
Clinton Mosley. I've seen guys like that try to run this offense.
Kyle Frazier.
And it ain't the same.
And the only dynamic that's different is that quarterback's option to pull the football on going fast.
And this whole business about, well, Jarrett Stidham's pretty athletic. He can pull it and run it. No. That may be true, but that ain't what we're talking about. Pulling the ball three to five times a game just to keep the defense honest, that ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about having a running back at quarterback that can throw the ball somewhat efficiently. And, Coach, we talked about Kelly Bryant. Is Auburn making a phone call right now? He just got his papers. There's the release papers. Is that is that not where Auburn needs to go? Joey Gatewood, is he that guy? Can he
Don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Jalen Hurts.
I know Bo Nix is not that guy.
Would Jalen Hurts be that guy? Or a Jalen Hurts type?
Yes.
In an Auburn offense?
Absolutely. He's Nick Marshall.
He's better version of Nick
2.0.
Marshall. Yeah. I think he throws the ball better than Nick Marshall. Wouldn't you guess that?
Maybe. I'm not sure what his completion percentage is, but Nick's was about 59, I think. 58, 59. So if he's better, if he's in the 60s, yeah, good. Bring him out.
What are our strengths? You didn't answer. What did you think?
I said, Jarrett Stidham's arm strength, our receivers, physicality, and our defense and our punter. That's Auburn's strengths right now. Running game is a horrible weakness. The offensive line is that's the worst weakness of the team. Now, that's what Auburn's kind of built their house on the sand because the offensive line is the foundation of the offense. And if you can't win the line of scrimmage, then no offense, no matter what kind you run, is ever going to be truly effective if you can't win the line of scrimmage.
Should we have
You can't even stalemate the line of scrimmage. We can't even stalemate it.
Should the writing have been on the wall over our recruiting the last 4 to 5 years in the offensive line? Have we overlooked that a little bit?
I guess so. But, I go back to, and I went back and looked. The last 4 years, offensive line recruiting. There's a whole lot of 4-star guys in there. And a lot of them are playing right now. I don't know what to say. Either we did a horrendous job, or we both. The recruiting guys, analysts did a terrible job because a lot of these guys are from Georgia. We didn't go cherry pick a guy from. Sometimes we'll get one. Oh, this guy's a 5-star from Maryland. Hey, come on now. We went and got Braden Smith out of Kansas, and there was some question about that. But that guy was a monster, and he did wonderful. But these guys are from Georgia. These guys are from Florida. These guys are from Alabama. Bunch of 4-star guys, a couple of 5-star guys. Calvin Ashley, maybe he's going to end up being really good at Auburn. But to be a 5-star guy, he's come in for 2 years and he can't get on the field with this bunch in front of him. Something's missing. There's a disconnect somewhere in our recruiting of offensive linemen. There's no question about that.
I've been doing this with you a long time, and you're in a mood I haven't seen much. Most of the time you're disgusted.
I think you bring it out with.
Most of the time you're disgusted and you're mad. but now you're not at all.
Yeah.
You're used to it.
Yeah.
And it's almost humorous.
Yeah. What do you do?
Because you've gotten so good at talking about this. We wouldn't know how to act if we didn't have this to talk about.
This is true. Oh, boy. Well, we're up against the break here. We'll try to collect ourselves. And we'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages. Jeffrey said he's not as dynamic as Nick. Nick could break any run. Hurts is more of a physical runner. Either way, I think 6-1 to me. I mean,
he's still one that you'd want running the football 15 times.
I like a game breaker, sure, but I mean, if a guy can average 7-8 yards a carry,
he's been a game breaker too at times.
Yeah. John says our strength. The head coach has the flexibility to wear either a hat or a visor. John had one of the best lines that I remember. I think it was on Tuesday night. He said, Auburn finally, the good news, Auburn finally didn't choke in the opener against a quality opponent, and they beat Washington. The bad news is Auburn peaked in game one.
Stidham looked great game one.
That's what's so perplexing. Why did he regress so much from that game? Why? I mean, the offensive line didn't play that. I mean, there were moments, but I swear they played fairly well in that game. We had 147 yards rushing in that game. We got 91 against Arkansas. We got 96 against Southern Miss. How has it gotten so bad? Miller got behind the 8-ball in camp because of an injury and fumbling. Shivers can't run the whole offense. It's obvious when it's an obvious run when he's in the game.
This idea that we can't run the whole offense, it's mind-numbing to me. Can't run the whole offense. Auburn can't run you the whole offense worse than any. Is Asa Martin going to run the ball this year, or is he going to run wheel routes all afternoon?
I think that's what he's –
Has he got a carry? A meaningful carry?
I don't think so. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Shivers starts against LSU, but he didn't get in but in garbage time against Arkansas. He starts against LSU.
Doesn't know the whole offense. Only a portion of the offense is going to be inserted.
That's like who we started Stanton Truitt against Clemson.
Oh my God!
In
knows
2016. I've ceased to try to figure it out. It's a conundrum wrapped in a riddle.
I'm with you, Scott. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think Bill Walsh and the West Coast offense is coming out from under Jordan-Hare Stadium out onto that field every Saturday. This thing, this thing reeks of high school football.
And so, I mean, you know what the funny, and we say this, and Jeff and I were kind of laughing about this on Monday. I mean, we were talking about how bad we looked against Southern Miss, and just like we've done today. And they said, oh, by the way, we're 4-1, number 8 in the country. And we got a great chance to go beat Mississippi State because they're awful.
They're bad.
Their offense is just – now, you trust Joe Moorhead to make some adjustments and to get it fixed? Maybe
I don't have an answer for that. I trusted Gus Malzahn 4 years ago as much as I trusted anyone. And racking up yardage and points.
Yeah.
And we have regressed back to 95th in the country, 12th in the SEC, 95th in the country in offense with Gus Malzahn as your head coach. Tell me who to thunk that.
We're so bad on third down too. We're 107th in the country on conversion.
You can just watch like our minds reeling. When you're watching poor Jarrett Stidham look over there at the sideline and that Meerkat offense we run. Can't you?
Yeah. Auburn only runs 15 and 20 plays. How hard can it be to know the whole offense? Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for about 20 more minutes in the show today, talking about things that Gus Malzahn said in his press conference yesterday. Have there been modifications on offense to help play to Auburn's strengths? What a great question. I think when you play to your strengths, I told you that was the thing, you've got to keep everything in mind. Everything. I mean everything in mind. It's offense, it's defense, it's special teams. Just do everything you can as a head coach to help your team win. We understand our strengths and the areas we need to improve on. So we'll have a really good plan moving forward. Play to your strengths. Again, I ask, what are Auburn's strengths? How are we going to play? What kind of, does that mean the game plan for Mississippi State is going to be a Tuberville-esque game plan? We're going to play to our defense. We're going to play field position. We're going to try to win a 3-2 game.
I think so.
I think that's the only way we can win. This kind of reminds me of, what was it, 2011 when we abandoned the hurry up? And, that's why Gus.
Barrett Trotter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About midway through the season.
South Carolina on the road.
Yeah, about midway through the season, we said, look, Chizik said, we're just going to go. We're changing our philosophy. The only way we can win games that we feel like and protect our defense is to change the philosophy a little bit. Is that where we're headed this year?
I don't know that I'm seeing any option other than that. Do you?
If you go away from the hurry up, no huddle,
we don't have.
Then what are you doing with Gus Malzahn as your coach?
I don't know. That's been my point completely. But is the hurry up all based around the willingness or the ability for the quarterback to pull the football and be able to run during that hurry? Because the go is a come to the line of scrimmage, show a give to the running back, read the end, and make a decision on where the quarterback's going to pull or keep. And go, and do the same thing over and over again. Trey Mason in the backfield, Nick Marshall back there at quarterback. Who in the heck knows? You better play it right. And you better play it right about 4 or 5 times in a row because you ain't got time to substitute in and out.
Yeah.
So I loved it. Do I think it would work now? I don't know. I don't watch enough film to know if everybody's caught up with us. I do have Luke Robinson in the back of my mind going, that you do realize that people are going to catch up with that, don't you? 2013. You remember this? 2014. They're going to catch up with it. And maybe we've tried to make enough changes offensively thinking that people are catching up with it because we haven't had a dynamic quarterback back there since then.
No.
Since Nick Marshall left. And he's not playing quarterback in the NFL, by the way. This is not Cam Newton. So
no.
Nick Marshall's in the secondary in the NFL, and it worked just fine.
In the CFL.
Yeah, it worked just fine.
Yeah. On Stidham getting better, stepping up in the pocket. Yeah, I think it works together. I think everything works together with quarterbacks' protection and running backs and their confidence in each other. He's getting better. Stepping up in the pocket. Did you see him getting better stepping up in the pocket Saturday?
One throw.
One throw.
I did, and because it was one throw following the rain delay.
Yeah.
A throw across the middle.
Bowl game with Auburn. Where will Auburn go to a bowl game?
Where will Auburn go to a bowl game?
We're having a prediction.
Where would you guess?
Our producer says the toilet bowl. Right now, if you look at it, if you look at their schedule, I think it's going to be difficult for all. I think it's 50-50 with Mississippi State.
I agree. But I would pick us because we've owned them with their quarterback and the style of play that Mississippi State chooses to play. If we get to 14, I think we win.
Here's my biggest fear. They bench Fitzgerald at the half. They put in Thompson. He throws for 200 yards in the second half.
Could be a problem.
They beat us 16-7.
That could be a problem, yes.
That's what I fear. But Texas A&M is going to be difficult. Texas A&M is going to be difficult. And Georgia and Alabama are right now looking like losses. Something may change, but right now they're looking like losses. I would have said they were losses last year at this time. But, we caught fire. We looked good. We found it. But this team seems like probably a Chick-fil-A bowl. I mean, maybe a Shreveport or Music City type bowl.
What a waste of a great defense.
I agree. We certainly aren't a New Year's Day bowl. We don't look like it. We may get there because everybody else is so bad, but we may fall into it. I don't know.
What else did you learn from this press conference? Anything else that's just eye-opening?
No, it's the same old garbage.
It is.
I mean, really, we stir it around a lot, but it's the same. It's the same thing. It's just I take joy out of reading some of it. But anyway, Mississippi State, again, going back to their offense, they haven't beaten anybody. I mean, they lost to Kentucky. They lost to Florida. Auburn, I don't think there's any question Auburn will be the best defense they've faced all year. You agree with that?
I agree with it, totally.
You know, they put up 6 points against Florida at home and 7 on the road against Kentucky. I just, with Nick Fitzgerald back there trying to run the ball in the offense that they run, I just think Auburn's defense can kind of – and, Auburn, I think I saw – what was the stat? I think only – was it 1 or 2 drives all year a team has gone 75 yards and scored a touchdown?
I haven't seen that one.
I mean, you can't drive – you cannot win a game against Auburn driving the ball 70, 80 yards. So that's where it comes into play into your strengths. Punt the ball, play field position, and break a few plays like you've been doing in these games with Jarrett Stidham and hope for the best.
Our secondary looks better to me.
Yeah, I think you were right. I heard you say that. You know, I turned our head for the ball better than we've done in
Well, I have the last 2 weeks to me.
Yeah.
And it could be the scheme. It could clearly be the opponent. But Southern Miss was going to put us in a position where we have to make plays on the ball.
We've turned people over 11 times, too, in 5 games.
I just think if it's possible, we're getting better on the defensive side. I mean, everybody's going to give up a drive here and there against someone that throws the football 370 yards a game, which is what Southern Miss did coming into last week.
Yeah.
We really give up one drive.
Pretty much. And that was after the delay.
Yeah.
Up against a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with the final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Wednesday right after this.
It's not even despair, Brett. It's almost
just resolution.
It's almost a humorous grin to go along with I'm about to repeat myself for the same way I have over the last 3 years.
And to your point, has everybody caught up to what I was doing?
But we don't even do it anymore. I wouldn't know if they've caught up or not. When's the last time we went fast?
There's times we tried.
When is the last time we went fast, Brett?
Fast?
Like to the line of scrimmage, hand the ball off and egg out, and good luck.
14.
We don't even do it anymore, do we? So I don't know if they've caught up or not because we don't do it.
Since Chip Lee's been there, we done it at all. It's
I
not
think
part of it.
they, as far as Gus's plays, that he probably enacts in there. Like, oh, we know this. But I mean, it's the same thing. You're going to run. Maybe occasionally
Well, the fast play after a first down's a run.
And we don't do that anymore.
We don't get first downs anymore.
Oh, it used to be effective.
Hey,
It was definitely effective whenever Nick Marshall had a chance of pulling it from time to time. Because even though they'd stop it like for 3-yard gains with Trey Mason or whoever's.
We talk about this. Well, they've done it some the last couple of years because he'd throw a long pass, carry on and rip off a 50-yard run, and we'd run up the line of scrimmage. He'd be about to die, and then turn around and hand it off to him. After he done ripped off 50-yard runs without breath, they're going to turn around and hand it right back to him and run up.
But I think
even the level of variety off of that was none. You knew what was coming.
There was variety.
There ain't no variety.
There ain't.
I already know what we're going to run there. I mean, I can tell you exactly what we're going to run.
But it's like I was saying,
Your brother says, is the over under 6 this week?
horrible third down. We try to run on third down. Does it? Be third and 8. We would run. We stop.
I'm telling you right now what I have watched. Saturday.
Here's another Auburn strength from John Coley. Saving Auburn fans money on expensive playoff trips and tickets.
That is true there.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Blitz and Alabama Blitz, and I watched them just over 30 minutes, and they tried to find something they can talk about. We tried to find something positive to talk about. We can't. That's the problem. That's the difference in the two shows.
Yeah.
It makes me want to puke. I hate it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy closing out the show on this Wednesday. We've been talking about Gus Malzahn's press conference from yesterday, talking about the upcoming matchup with Mississippi State on Saturday night in Stark, Vegas.
Can we play a little game here
Sure.
called Who to Thunk It?
Who'd have thunk it?
I told you this during the break. Who to thunk it? Auburn at a neutral site game against Kentucky in football. I would give the nod to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And who to thunk it 4 years ago that there's a real great opportunity at some point in time this year Auburn could match up with Kentucky in basketball and be favored. Who to thunk it?
It's a bizarre world we're living in right now.
It's bizarro.
It is.
Are you heading over to tip off at Toomer's?
I may. I'm thinking about it. I will. I'm planning. I'm making plans to travel to Baton Rouge
You are.
as Auburn will take on LSU at 1:00. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's February 9th. I may make that trip.
I'm looking forward to basketball season.
I am too.
I mean, I hope I'm not 2000 looking forward to it. Do you know that 99 season and all of the confidence that you had coming into the following season with Chris Porter and Porter taking a slight regression back and Doc Robinson still being the same, but the team just not quite getting to the level we had hoped for.
Well, the difference is we've had all the mess behind us now.
True.
Hopefully, that season was fraught with turmoil in 2000. Chris Porter didn't even end up playing at the end of the year. And, there was just questions circling and things. But this year, that's kind of behind us. And this team, Jeff Hines, we were talking, I think it was maybe last week. And, Auburn's going to hang a banner, and rightly so, for SEC champions. But not during the game. Not publicly. They're going to do it privately because they didn't want us. They said, look, that's nice. I know it's the first one that we've had in 100 years or what. But they said we feel like we can be better, and they're concentrating on being better this year. And man, I appreciate that. My goodness, when you win an SEC title in basketball at Auburn, this shut the town down. But for this team, they say, and you watch that video. In football day, those guys look like. They're running through the sand. They look like it's some sort of the Marines, man. All of them look like Adonises. It's incredible the physicality that has gone into basketball now.
Slightly different than the brand of athlete that we put out during the Tony Barbie era.
Yeah, not even remotely close. We're not going to Australia bringing guys in anymore.
Jumping Jack Purchase. Jumping Jack's not coming over with this group.
I know down Jack. I'm sure he's a good guy. And he went off and played. What did he go to Purdue or somewhere like that? He transferred somewhere. But
no, I doubt it. I think you just made that up. No,
I swear that he did. But anyway.
We'll pull it up and see where he went. I think he went back to Australia and he's shooting threes over there in a rec league somewhere. But we have the two best talented NBA prospects weren't even on the team last year.
Yeah.
And if you kind of add that to it, then maybe what I said is totally wrong. Because these two guys had no, they were there. They were on the bench. They were part of the team. I thought Bruce Pearl did a great job of keeping them involved, even though they weren't involved out on the court. But they had no physical part of that club last year. So they bring a dynamic to this team that's called, if the others aren't hungry, these guys are hungrier than hungry. At least they should be. And hopefully that parlays to some good basketball for us.
Now look, I don't know D'Angelo Purifoy. Never met him. Don't know anything about him. But I'm going to tell you this. The NCAA screwed that guy. I mean, he came into Auburn. I don't know if he's ever done anything wrong. All he did was make a good grade on a test. And they said, well, that's suspicious. So they screwed him out of his freshman year. And then he comes back and all this mess happens, but whatever. And everybody else is okay. But now this guy's got to sit out 8 games. So they screwed him again, twice. He must be a really good player to be at Auburn and getting this kind of treatment. So I hope he comes back and leads the team in scoring and has a phenomenal year. And we're going to find out all we need to know when they go to Hawaii because they're going to play with some real basketball teams then. And if I look, it's not about it. I don't expect Auburn to win the thing, but I mean, if they go out and just hold their own, I think we're in good shape. I feel good about it.
If defensively, if we play like we can, I like our chances. Jumping Jack, I don't know where Jumping Jack is. I can't look over there. He's
Hawaii?
at Hawaii, of all places.
And he's doing really well.
Okay, we'll pull that up.
He's a sharpshooter. Is what that guy is. Jadon Hazelwood decommits from Georgia, number 1 wide receiver in the country. Watched him play beginning of the year against Hewitt Trussville. Was that right?
Is he coming to Auburn? Is that where you're trying to go with
I'm just saying all the talk has been, why would he come to Auburn? I'm not sure. But
is he a tight end? Does he have tight end capabilities?
Is he a Nate Craig Myers? I mean,
I'm just numb, Andy.
I
mean, you just
all I'm saying is
if it was a linebacker, let me tell you, if you just said that Travis Williams went to Georgia and he got the number 1 linebacker in the country, which we already got that one, but and he got him to decommit from Georgia and he's coming to Auburn, I go, that boy just made a good decision. Yeah. I'm not taking anything away from Georgia, but he's going to get coached up unless we screw it up and get Travis Williams out of here. And he's going to be coached up to a point where he could go to the NFL and play. That's the one position I'm so confident in that we're coaching them up right now. Rest of them, man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it all. I'll give defensive line a second, but a precipitous drop from where we are at linebacker to me.
Well, I know this. Cody Burns can recruit. I don't know what his responsibilities are as coaching up the receivers as far as the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator, is he the one teaching them to run? I don't know where that line is between OC and wide receiver coach. But we can bring in some offensive talent at receiver. Running back's the one that I feel like we've fallen down on.
Who knows if we have, Andy? Asa Martin was there was not one close in this state to him last year.
We fell into Trey Mason. He wasn't even our number 1 pick. We fell into him, and he turned out to be phenomenal. But, I mean, when's the last time we brought in a Carnell or a Ronnie? I mean, look, I agree that
Asa Martin, Mr. Football last year, played in 6A against Bo Nix in the 6A quarterfinal game.
Thomas, wasn't he?
And he ran for 400 yards.
So was Rock Thomas.
Stopped him yet. He ain't run nothing but a wheel pattern since he's been at Auburn. I think he might have ran an out pattern last week out of the backfield when we threw it to him.
Maybe so. But I ain't seen a Carnell or a Ronnie on the team.
Who knows? He hasn't run the ball.
Well,
we got the peanut gallery. He's equal to you today.
Who wins tonight? A's at the Yankees.
My heart's with A's, so I'm going there.
I will agree. That's going to wrap up the Auburn Blitz for this Wednesday. Thank you so much for all of you out there joining us today. Back on the air tomorrow, same time, same channel. It'll be Coach Jeff Hines and myself. Join us then for Randy Lee. I'm Andy Gray. Thanks so long for now, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.